Doni the Tree Lady and owner of Don's Tree Service.
Okay, and owner of that book too that you wrote, but we'll talk about that later. And
Yes.
I am Marty McFly, that guy.
You
That's
are
me.
that guy.
That's me. That's all of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure, what's up?
You are looking so good today.
See, I put on my face today.
You did.
I did a little hair, you know.
Got your hair did.
But no, because see, you know, we've been dealing with some people are advising us how we, you know, do the show.
That's true.
And it is important to, you know, I don't mind giving back some of my knowledge where they say, you know, image is everything.
Right.
And sometimes you want to look, you know, present.
Yeah, that's right.
We did that first show, or actually one of the first shows before I took a little vacation.
Right.
And I looked so horrible over there.
You did not.
You know, I had a little raggedy hat on. You know, I looked like, I don't know, Goma Pal or something. Just all broke down. I was like, okay.
I don't think you looked broke down.
I know I was feeling
You just
broke
was
down.
casual.
Too casual.
And you know what? I feel the same way. Because, you know, a lot of times I come in here and I got my little Don's Tree Service sweatshirt on. I ain't done nothing. I ain't put a little powder on or nothing.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm just
in your hair
I
and
still got
stuff.
wood. Sawdust. But no, but the thing is, like, you know, I really feel comfortable in my skin, but I have to remember, you know, just like we talk about in business, you have to put your best foot forward, you know? And I even realized I had, like, when I first started my company, I felt like, you know, I'm doing my own thing now. I ain't got to adhere to nobody's rules. So I used to have like really long hair. And, you know, so a lot of times when women go through a change, first thing they do is they change their hair.
You're talking about a change. What kind of change you went through?
No, I changed careers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I started my company and I just was like, I'm free. I'm going to do my own thing. So I cut all my hair off.
Okay.
And so I used to wear it in like this little fro and I just didn't do nothing to it. No oil. No, nothing.
I'm curious about that because my wife did that same thing. But how did your husband respond to it?
Well, he wasn't my husband yet.
Oh,
which is probably why.
Yeah,
I didn't have a husband.
That answered it. Mm-hmm.
But my brother worked for me for a while, and so with my guys, we used to be like, "Listen, you can't wear your pants sagging.
Yeah.
You have to start the day with a clean shirt on. You got to look good in front of the customers." So my brother, being my brother, after 2 or 3 weeks of this, pulled me aside and was like, "Doni, can we talk about something?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "You need to do something with your head." I was like, "What's wrong? I'm natural." He's like, "No, you look a hot mess."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I started, you know, put a little something and start doing a little something
and
with
I gotta
it.
say, today you look very nice too.
Thank you.
I can
Thank
see
you
you
very
did a
much.
little something to your face,
I
and
did
you
a
know,
little something.
you're not in your trademark red T-shirt.
Yes.
Red, fully.
Yeah.
Of course, it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
But but I'm saying you looking like you're doing something.
Thank you.
too.
I'm trying. Well, you know, once again, in business, you know, we try to put our best foot forward, and we appreciate you guys checking us out. And I don't want to feel like I'm looking like I just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But look, Doni, I want to ask you about some things, okay? Because
Sure,
really,
talk to me.
Really, this year I am trying to write my own book. You know,
look
just
at that.
because of the
You
ups and
should.
downs. I am, but see, I don't want to go in it naively.
Right.
Okay, so I do want to get some questions from you because you know, if anybody can see the video, she's wrote her own book From Failure to Fabulous. And, you know, I'm really wondering, for one, what inspired you to write a book?
Right.
You know, and I guess we'll start right there. What inspired you to write?
What inspired me? The truth of the matter is, after I started the company, I actually started it because I was in a depressed point in my life. And so after I started it, I started feeling better about myself. I started to get a little bit of success, and I started bringing people on board with my team. And as the company grew, it kind of got away from me.
Okay.
And then we started going through some tough times. And then all of a sudden, you flash forward, because I started my company in 2000. You flash forward to 2008 or 9, somewhere around there. And we were doing a lot of work for builders.
Okay.
So much so that, you know, a builder would call us up because the economy was booming and just say, "Hey, clear out these trees. You know, we don't care how much it costs." Bam, 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 bam. Well, it went from that to crickets, to almost nothing. And I nearly lost everything. And a lot of my friends that were in the industry quit and stopped doing it and got a job, you know, got out of the industry. And I just kept going. And so I would have people come up to me and be like, "How are you still going? How are you still doing this? How are you still keeping your head up? Why are you not depressed?" Of course, I was depressed, but, you know, like, how are you still doing this? And then people that knew my backstory with my family, some of the challenges that I was going through with betrayal, you know, death in the family, those kind of things, they would see me and be like, "Man, you need to tell me how you're doing what you're doing." And so it just hit me one day. I was like, you know what? I should tell my story. You know, maybe I can help other people in some way, shape, or form. And then also it was a way for me to just put my thoughts down on paper to kind of overcome
Now-
some of the things I was going through.
So now you saying you put your own thoughts. Now, did you have like a ghostwriter where you just like sat in the room and you just, just kind of brainstorm about your life and somebody
No.
else wrote it for you?
No, not at all.
Well, do you know somebody like that? Because I'm looking for them.
No, we're going to look. If anybody knows a ghostwriter,
Yes.
have them reach
Yeah.
out to Marty.
Holla at me. We can do some things. But okay, just real quick, I've kind of skimmed through the book, and chapter 3,
Right.
you talk about it's not too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you now? It's not a secret. You just recently, not too long ago, turned 50.
The 5-0.
The 5-0,
The big 5-0,
But
yes.
now you're talking about, but you wrote this book a little while ago.
Yeah.
So tell me the thought,
Yeah.
towards it's not too late in your life.
The reason why I back then, which was a few years ago, that I wrote "It's Not Too Late" is because I was in my 40s, and so in my brain, I hadn't quite made it. I'd done well, the company was growing, but we had that point where we had fallen back, and so I was just getting back on my feet, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm never going to reach my goals." I've got these big dreams and these big aspirations. I want to do radio one day. Podcasting wasn't even really a thing yet. So I didn't realize that that's what I would eventually be doing. But I always wanted to do something in the media where I can inspire people. And then it just got to a point where I was like, I just need to pay my bills. But that didn't feel right. I was like, there's something bigger for me.
I still need to pay my bills. And it don't feel right when I got to pay them, but
Exactly, right? But that was the point that I got to where I just said, okay, I just got to pay my bills. And it didn't feel right to just be thinking that, like to think small like that. Because I'd always been to all the seminars, the trainings, and they always said, you go be whoever you want to be, dream big and stuff. Well, for me to sit back in my 40s and go, I can still do that was huge. Because there was a part of my brain up until that point that thought I'd missed the boat.
I can understand that,
Because
yeah.
we're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where there you got people in their 30s driving Lamborghinis and flossing. They're all over YouTube and
I'm mad. I see
doing big
football
things.
players retiring.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wait a minute,
exactly.
you ain't even 30 yet, and you set for life.
Exactly.
But on that, and I'm not trying to take this part of the interview away from you.
No, I
but-
want you to.
But it is something that, I do music and I've talked about this guy. A guy named True, I don't even want to mess his name up, but he's in his late 50s, okay?
Really?
And he
Okay.
came to my house and he was just doing like a voiceover, on somebody's mixtape.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, why is this old man coming, still trying to be hip? And they showed me his video.
Yeah.
And this dude has a current video talking about, I got 4-5 bank accounts, 4-5 ladies, and he got the whole video. And he has this big following.
Right.
And this is like his first single.
That's what I mean. It's not too late. So I'm in my 40s thinking it's not too late. Now I'm 50 going, I'm just getting started,
Wow.
And
so truly, your 40s and 50s is your new 18
Oh my goodness.
and 30s.
Dude,
That's
a lot of
thing?
stuff gets better. And I'm telling you, the clarity, stop. The clarity.
That's the other chapter we gonna get into.
We're going to get into that chapter.
Right.
But no, the clarity, the getting to a point where you're at the age where you don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Because I've even had friends of mine that wanted to do something similar that are like, dude, young folks do that. You're talking about trying to get YouTube followers. Isn't that like a teenage game?
Yeah.
And it is. It really is a lot of young people doing it. But I thought, why not me? There's a lot of people in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s that have dreams and aspirations.
True. And you know what? Some of that is right, though. You know, like if you're trying to be a Facebook sensation.
Right.
Yeah, old people doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the young kids, they're not even looking at Facebook no more. If you're trying to blow up on YouTube, it's like trying to make your MySpace page.
Right,
have a lot of
exactly,
followers. It's like, go ahead and do that, mama.
Yeah.
But no, at the same time, it's not too late to
It's
still
not.
do your dreams and everything. Now, we're going to have to go to a quick break.
Absolutely.
How can they get this book right now?
They can go to DonnieJonesLive.com. That's DONI, Jones, JONES, live, LIVE.com. Or they can just look it up on Amazon, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon.
Now, are you trying to get into like Barnes and Nobles?
I am in Barnes and Noble
You
already.
in Barnes and Nobles?
Yep,
Are you
I'm
serious?
in Barnes. I am in Barnes and Noble
Are they
already.
still open?
Yeah, my baby was at. They better be open because my baby was at Barnes and Noble yesterday.
Was it some bookstores closing or something like
It
that?
was what was this? It was another company like Barnes and Noble.
Was it books?
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, but it was one of them that was closing
It was a
down.
big one. It was a big one that closed.
Now, do you have this in like digital form, like on a Nook or the?
I don't, but actually, I do. KBB. Yes, I do. I just filled out the link 2 weeks ago.
Are you making this up? You on
No,
live
I'm not.
TV?
I'm on live
that
TV.
That sound like ain't that something?
I'm on live something.
You know, it just kind of because you're like, no, I don't. Yes, I do.
No,
yeah.
but let me tell you why. Because I have a company that I go through to produce these, and they have a link that I've been avoiding going through that portal because I don't know how to do it, and I finally did it. And it put it made it available.
So now I can now download this on my iPhone,
you can download
on my iPad, and I can just read it from right there. And I don't have to go to.
And if you don't believe me, I can go.
Look. I believe you. I believe you.
I
you know.
believe I can fly.
I don't believe that you can sing though.
No, I can't.
But yeah, we're going to take a quick break. And like I said, if you want to purchase the book, Barnes and Nobles.
Yep.
Amazon.
Yep.
DonnieJonesLive.com.
DonnieJonesLive.com.
Anywhere else.
Wherever you can pull up the name From Failure to Fabulous. But let me clear something up real quick. When I say I'm at Barnes & Noble, you can go to their website. I'm not actually in the stores, but I'm on their online. I'm in their online store.
I ain't never seen this in the
You ain't never
the store.
You ain't never stepped inside of a Barnes & Noble, first of all.
There's a Starbucks in there. You know, I'm just saying. But look, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Donnie Jones Live.
You look like... And I'm Donnie Jones.
Right. And I'm Marty McFly.
There we go. Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie, the tree lady, hanging out with
Marty McFly, the interview guy right now. Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Special. I feel special. Like this is your time.
Okay.
You know, because I really am curious about your approach to writing a book. Because like I'm in class a lot of times, okay, and I hate writing papers.
Yeah.
You know, it'd take me 2 or 3 months to write a 5-page paper,
right? And
it just it irritates me.
Well, I will tell you this, Marty. It wasn't an overnight thing. I actually started writing back in 2008, and then I stopped.
10 years?
Yeah, I stopped, and then I picked it back up 2010 or 11. Then I stopped again, and then I wrote a little bit more in 2015, 16, and then a friend of mine kind of called me out, because I was like, as a writer, she's like, what have you done wrote? I was like, well, I'm writing my book. She goes, haven't you been writing on this a while? And I said, well, yeah. She goes, well, when are you going to be finished? And it was just like the way she said it. It was like, almost like, don't talk to me about this if you're not going to really finish it.
If you really ain't.
If you really ain't for real.
All you doing is talking about it.
Exactly. So don't talk about it, be about it. That was my lesson right now. So I finally just said, what, I really do want to finish this, And then I was looking back at my children going, okay, if they started something and didn't finish it, I would be calling them out on it, know? So I started calling myself out on it. And plus, with the tree service and also having an interest in doing what we're doing right now, I said, I need to put this out there. I feel like good stuff needs to be put out in the world. And then other stuff happened in 2016 that made me go, we really need some good stuff out in the world. So this was my little way of putting something good out there.
Okay, so what was your goal with writing this? To just really kind of change somebody's life? Or if somebody read this, what would I get out of it, or somebody get out of it if they read it, from cover to cover?
If they read it from cover to cover, first of all, I would say thank you. But the main thing I want to get people to understand is to believe in themselves. To get to a point where you can see your true positive self. I always joke about it that when I was a kid, I had this idea that one day I would be someone that introduced people to their true positive self. I didn't know what the heck that meant. It still don't even make a lot of sense to me. But I really want people to see the best in themselves, because we can always see the best in other people. Like when I look at you, I see this talented gentleman with this great voice and everything. And seriously, you're just so skilled and talented at what you do. And it comes naturally.
It does, but it kind of goes to, I guess, in the sense of what you have in your book, and I think chapter 6, where it says trust your instincts.
Yeah.
But, and that's what I kind of deal with, is like trusting my instincts. But like when you come to that chapter, what was but I want to get with that, because you say trust your instincts, but.
Okay. The reason why I say trust your instincts, but the but is you got to make sure you check up behind people.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you do your homework. I mean, seriously. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes we're in a situation with people that we think, oh, this is all great. This is all good. They're going to get the job done and stuff like that. And because we don't do our due diligence, they slack off. So for me as a business person, what would happen is I would, bring somebody on board that I was really excited about. I just knew they were going to do a good job, but I didn't do my part and check up on their work.
Yeah. You know what? I did that one time, and it really strained my relationship.
Yeah.
My mother was paying my car note, and I called one time the car place, and I found out she was paying it late.
Yeah.
And it hurt me. I just called and cussed her out. Woman, you're late. You're messing up my credit. You're supposed to pay my bills on time.
I'm just gonna really,
but it's just one of those things.
Step back on that one.
What?
She was paying your car note, dude.
Look. That's beside the point. She said she was.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me you were a teenager at this time.
We're gonna talk about all that. This ain't about me anyway.
Okay,
it's about
no,
you.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
You silly dude.
That was like last year.
No, it wasn't.
Still ain't got over that. That's why she ain't got a good Mother's Day present this year.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna hurt you.
Anyway, moving on, but trusting your instincts.
Yeah, I believe you should trust her. I think God put something. And I'm sure as a pastor you can attest to this. There are times when we just feel we should go in a certain direction, but we don't know exactly why, Oh,
yeah.
Like, for example, when I met you, when I first met you, the way I met you was through somebody that was like, hey, you know what? You got this book. I've got a little radio program. You should come to the studio, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And by saying yes to that, something just felt right. Even though I didn't know this gentleman, it felt right. Well, what that led me to was meeting you. And then what that also led to was more doors opening for us to be able to do what we do today.
Right.
So I didn't know how to do what we do, but I trusted my instincts. Same thing with starting my tree service. I just knew that I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. I used to be in network marketing, and I just wasn't happy doing that anymore. And I knew the company that I was working with, I could tell instinctively, I didn't have 100% proof yet that something wasn't right. I could feel it in the atmosphere. And so I just had a feeling, an instinct, to just take a drive. And while out driving out on Brownsmill Road, I looked over the horizon and there was nothing but trees. And so I just had a feeling, my gut instinct to start a tree service. And it has been the best decision that I've ever, aside from my husband and aside from my kids, that has been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Did you have an instinct for your husband?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just one of that inside burning.
Oh my gosh! Do we have time? Okay, quick story about my husband.
Yeah.
Little time with my husband, who you guys know I joke a lot about him, but he's the man in my opinion, because he is the man. But once again, we used to be in network marketing, and the company was on its way out. He used to work in another office in Sandy Springs, and so whenever I visited that office to go to trainings or meetings, he was always working on the computers and stuff, or working on audiovisual equipment as opposed to working on sales. And so that was really endearing to me because everybody in the office was supposed to be an independent representative. And so, but he was always a helper, you know? And so I didn't think much of it, just thought he was a nice person. And I knew I was going to be getting out of that industry and getting out of that company. And so I had a house in Lilburn that I couldn't afford anymore. And so I needed to get a roommate. And, I just knew I wasn't going to have anybody in the company live with me. Even though I had this big house, I need to get a roommate, but I just knew it wasn't going to be anybody company. I was going to put an ad out or whatever. Well, he got wind of the fact that I had this house and I was going to be renting out one of the rooms or renting out part of the house. And so he came to me and asked, and we weren't even really friends or anything. He came to me and asked and said, hey, I heard that you have some space available at your house. I'm looking to move to this side of town. Do you have anything, kind of available, right? And everything in me was like, no. I don't want to live with anybody in the company. I'm getting ready to get out of this company. I don't want nobody knowing what's going on in my business. And my heart said yes. And so instead of going, no, I said, yes, I do. And even when I said yes, my brain was going, why did you say what? You said you weren't going to live anybody with.
So that opens up a whole new, door in a sense. Like how long since when y'all started becoming roommates?
Yeah.
How long before it stopped being roommates and became a couple thing?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Because I'm saying usually it's like, well, you stay over there, He
was over there. He had his own space and everything.
Right. And y'all, never met in the middle for midnight just.
No, we didn't do none of that. He's a gentleman.
I can understand that, but
he was a gentleman.
But look, y'all married now. So
yes, we are.
Something had to happen.
Something did happen.
Right.
Something did happen. We'll talk about.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you real quick. He was just always there. You know, he was steady, and he was just literally
just always there.
He's just
you get
there.
out the bathtub, he's just there.
You know what?
You up in the morning, he in there cooking breakfast, just there.
No.
Just,
Okay, I'd already started the tree service, and I was having a challenge finding good quality people. So my brother was helping me in. He had came in from St. Louis to help me out on a few jobs, and I left to go get lunch. And so I get back to the job site, and I had like 4 or 5 guys there that was supposed to be cutting the trees. I come back, and my brother's standing in the backyard by himself. And I'm like, where did the guys go? And he goes, I fired them all. I was like, we got to get the rest of these trees down. What do you mean you fired the guys? He goes, they were costing you money, Donnie. You're paying them, and they're not doing their job. And so I was like, Don, what are we going to do? And he's like, what about that friend of yours? What is he doing right now? Because we both used to work for the same company. So he knew we all were in this kind of rebuilding phase. That's the word.
Yeah.
So, but he was actively looking. So I was like, he ain't never did tree work. I can ask him. I was like, he helps me with flyers and helps me on the computer, but I don't think he's into like manual labor kind of. I don't think that's his thing. So I get home that evening and I asked him if he would help us until we started figuring things out. And he was like, sure. So
why not?
Why not? And then this went on for a couple of weeks with him helping us. And then all of a sudden, my brother had a bipolar episode. Okay. And we had to put him in the hospital. And so I'm sitting there with just me, him, and a few guys that are green because we hired new guys. And I'm like, I do not know what I'm going to do. And he just was there. And he read up on tree care. He read up on how to do things. And he just started doing stuff. And then I needed my first truck. And he helped me get my first truck. And even then, it didn't hit me that he was in love with me. Or I didn't think he knew he was in love with me. He was just there. He's just
doing
helping
all
me.
that stuff for you.
Silly.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah.
And we fell in love and got married.
And that's all she wrote, huh?
That's all she wrote.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get back to this book. How can they get this book?
They can go to.
Because you got a good little chapter we're going to talk about,
Oh, my goodness. I know where you're going. I don't know where we're going with that. Aren't we supposed to be talking about inspirational stuff?
We don't pass that one. What was it? Break it off to your husband?
No, we're talking about trusting your instincts.
But no,
overcoming adversity.
I'm talking about that chapter where you say give it to him all the time.
Organize your ideas.
No, you know which one.
Write your goals down.
We're going to go to a break. I'm going to find it. You tell them how to purchase the book because I think it's chapter 5.
Oh, my God. Anyway, you can find my book at Doni Jones Live at DoniJonesLive.com, DoniJones Live.com, or you can go to Amazon and find it, From Failure to Fabulous. You guys, we'll be right back. I'm Doni the Tree Lady.
Yeah, I'm Marty McFly. I'm gonna find this chapter.
Oh my goodness.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah. Listen to Doni Jones Live. I am certified arborist, Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly.
You are so fly.
I'm trying to be.
You're so fly.
Just so fly. But you ain't getting off the subject. I found the chapter.
I know.
And I want to know a little bit more about it.
We're talking about inspiration.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in like you like to do, we're talking to Doni Jones Live about her book, Failure to Fabulous. And it's a chapter that is, one of my favorites. But I want
Is it the one about organizing your thoughts?
Yeah, organizing my thoughts and
writing your
knowing
goals
what
down.
I want, which is being the husband, knowing what I want. This is a good way of saying it from the
Overcoming
woman's side.
adversity.
It's chapter 14, where she keeps trying to cut me off, but since she is, I'm going to just read it for you.
No, you're not.
It says, chapter 14, for women only, make love to your husband. He needs it. Now, I want to know about your research on that chapter there. And...
Okay. We're going to have a grown folks conversation.
Yes. Especially you just told us at the last break, being the last segment, about how you and him, got together. Y'all were roommates.
What happened was, remember how I told you the book was birthed out of the fact that I'd been through a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
And a lot of adversity and, depression and everything. Well, when you're trying to come out of financial ruin and you're losing equipment, you got people betraying you or whatever. When you come home, you're not in a good headspace. So this would go on for ages, right? And so I would be at home trying to figure things out. He would get home from work tired and everything, eat dinner,
cut some trees down,
and then be like, hey, whatever. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yep.
So then another night, we get home, talk to him about the business, the finances, have dinner, kids go to sleep. And he's like, so, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. So this went on for a while, but he didn't let it go on too long because he got frustrated. He was like, okay. And so I just kept saying, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. And so finally, I just was like, how can you want to have sex right now? And we're struggling. We're about to lose our home. We done lost a truck. We got bills behind. How can you want to do this right now?
I want to get all that off my mind.
And he said, honey, that has nothing to do with how I feel right now in this moment. He goes, I actually feel better, and I feel more connected to you if we can do that. He goes, that all of that stuff doesn't affect my sex drive. That's actually what he said. He goes, that stuff doesn't affect my sex drive. And I was like, and he goes, it just makes me feel better to be with you, even with all the stuff we're going through. And it made me look at that a lot differently, because I know a lot of times they say that one of the number one reason people get divorced is because of money problems. Yeah. Well, when we were going through money problems, the last thing I wanted to do was, be intimate and stuff, because I didn't feel good. And as a woman, I want to feel good if I'm going to do that. But the way I turned that around was I said, wait a minute. If this makes him feel good, that makes me feel good. So once I got it in my head that it wasn't about the bills and it wasn't about the truck that had gotten repossessed. It wasn't about, our mortgage. This moment is just about me and him and our relationship and me helping him to feel good. Because think about it. You work all day long, all night long or whatever, and then there's no money at the end of the week. You can't even get me flowers that you want to give me. Because I remember he wanted to buy me flowers and we had no money in the bank. So he came home with these beautiful gardenias. And I'm like, where did you get these flowers? He goes, I picked them out of the customer's yard. And I was like, are you serious?
See?
Because he wanted to give me flowers.
And that's creative.
I wasn't mad at him. I was like, but you did get permission, right? He's like, yeah, I got permission. But like stuff like that, when you can't provide for your family like you want to, it makes you feel some kind of way. And as a man, it kind of probably made him feel some kind of way. So to be connected with me in that way made him feel good. So as a woman, I said, I got to rethink this. Because I even had girlfriends that are like, girl, if you ain't feel like, it's just, you just going to have to wait.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They single.
That's what I was going to say. Most of those girlfriends that give those kind of advices, they're single. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to give him none because of this. Okay,
right. Yeah. Your mind ain't into it. Well, okay.
But I'm saying, and it is one of those things where women a lot of times say that's just the male ego. You always want it. But sometimes I do believe that, no, it's a necessary need.
It is. I personally think it is.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really do.
If you don't want us to be stressed the whole week, whole month.
That was the other thing he said. It's a good de-stressor.
Yeah.
He said that too.
My wife knows when I have an attitude for the whole 2-3 months, maybe sometimes 6 months. She's like, okay, it's about time.
You are not waiting 6 months.
We on live air. I can't talk about
we're not. Okay, are we, but I feel like we should get to a different subject though.
But this is all in your book.
It's true. It is,
and it's real life things. It's not like, okay, I'm writing a fictional story that just kind of make you feel good. Right. But this is stuff that you went through. That is true. Because you had another one that I wanted to ask you about that I mentioned earlier about. I think it's your mind is powerful. Yeah. Outside of the chapter 14. Getting back to, because I think thoughts are things.
And I was getting ready to say that. Like we read all the self-help books and we read all the motivational stuff. And now you can listen to podcasts and YouTube videos. And they're basically all saying, about your thoughts. Thoughts are things, the power of positive thinking, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, though. People don't really believe that.
They don't.
They really don't.
They practice it, but they don't believe it.
I remember earlier today, we both were on the highway and you had called me because you saw me. You're like, are you in a zone or something? Yeah. And what it was is I had put some music on. I was getting my head straight, not just for the show, but for my life and just working on some things in the business, wanting to see the company grow and, the show grow and stuff like that. So in my head, I was visualizing what that's going to look like.
Right.
The funny thing is, I used to visualize actually doing what we're doing. I used to visualize some of the trucks and equipment we have. I used to visualize the community that I live in right now. I used to drive through that community and visualize myself living there. And I've been living there now for the last 10 years. So thoughts really are things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But people don't, first of all, they don't write their goals down.
True.
They don't look them at in the morning and in the evening.
True.
They don't speak positive things to themselves. And the main thing is they don't believe the stuff that they're writing down. You've got to believe it.
Right.
Your brain is a magnet. It really is. And I remember when I met you, I said, I really want to do this thing. I really want to put positive content out, but I don't know how to do it. But because I believed I could do it, I believe God put me in your life and me and us in each other's life so you could help show me the way that this industry works as far as, production and stuff like that.
I'm trying my best to,
Well, you are.
I'm trying my best to. Just trying to visualize her. We go further. I can visualize her being more quiet. Just visualize her taking the back seat sometime. It ain't came yet, but I'm just visualizing.
Who, me
it.
taking the back seat?
Never mind. Who
are you talking about?
No, I was just talking about just thoughts that just come through my head sometimes. But it's very important because I was saying something a second ago where people practice that. They might not believe it, but they practice it. But what they practice is the opposite of it. They're quickly to say, I can't do something. I'm too old to do something.
Yeah.
Or I don't have enough money to do something.
Yeah.
And because you keep telling yourself that, that's what comes out. Like the Bible says, faith comes by hearing.
Yeah.
And if you keep telling yourself, you're hearing the negativeness that's coming to you. That's right. So if you are stuck at that job and it's like you feel like you hit that glass ceiling, you keep telling yourself that.
That's right. But you know what? I need to reverse something I just said. I said that they don't believe it, but they do believe it.
Yeah.
They believe it for the opposite.
Right. Exactly.
They believe they're too old.
Right.
They believe they're too heavy. They believe they don't have enough money.
Right.
They believe they can't make it happen. You know?
Like I don't believe that I can write this book on my own. And I
ghostwriter.
Yeah, I know. That's why I believe in a ghostwriter.
Okay.
But no, I'm working because you're inspiring me with this. Well, now you said over how many years did it take you to write this book?
Since 2009. But actually, here's the other thing. When I actually sat down to finish it, it took 3 months.
Are you serious?
I'm straight up serious.
I can believe that because I hear a lot of.
And if you think about the time, I would say 3 weeks. If you put the time.
If you think about the people that's been fired from the White House, and by the time their book comes out. It's within a month to 2 months.
Yes.
Because they get a ghostwriter or they just sit down and say, because I ain't got the job now.
That's right.
I can write.
That's right.
That. So maybe I might take the next month or so.
You should.
And write maybe a 5-page book. Is there a certain amount of numbers, amount of pages got to be in a book? I'm curious. I need to look that up, because if I just meet the quota, it's just like 15 pages.
Yeah.
Just maybe small sentences on each one. Today's going to be your best day. Just don't do drugs.
Right.
That's one whole page.
No.
The next one will be.
But what you could do? You could do a calendar.
Yeah, a calendar with small stuff.
Yeah, just small stuff. And then you put, something inspirational.
Does
you could
it cost
sell
you
that.
a lot to
It wasn't that much, no.
Oh, good.
I thought it was. I think it was reasonable.
Okay, because I
think for what the way it's touching people's lives and helping people, it's worth it.
I would hope so.
And the fact that people are buying it, so
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing because I wanted to make sure I can finance the book too. Because I'm redoing my bills and everything. I haven't started buying discounted weed. No. We'll talk about that later on. It's not that high quality. It's just like regular now. But anyway, how can they get your book?
I'm in shock right now. Okay,
they got that on the market too.
You do know that that's not legal in Georgia, right?
Why are you trying to put somebody out here?
Okay,
this is an online show.
It's not just online. There's
everywhere.
people.
Anyway, how do they get the book? Oh my God,
I'm scared now.
How they get the book, Anime?
DonnieJonesLive.com. DONI Jones JONES Live LIVE.com. I have totally lost control of this show. Or on Amazon, From Failure to Fabulous.
Right, and if you look at Barnes & Nobles, you can find it there.
You can find it on Barnes & Noble online. You sure can.
Can I get it on eBay?
My brain is still hurting. Yes, you can.
Okay.
I don't know if you can get it on eBay or not.
Okay.
But just reach out to me.
Okay.
Yeah, just reach out to me.
Look, if there's a will, there's a way. You mind, you think it forward. I always wanted the discounted stuff. Anyway, look, we'll be right back. You're listening to, watching Donnie Jones Live with Donnie Jones and Marty McFly.
Yeah. Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am Marty McFly, that guy that is... No, I can't say that on.
I got to tell you, I have really enjoyed talking with you. I'm
you know
serious.
what? I'm enjoying talking to you, and you inspire me every time I talk to you.
Thank you.
Know?
I'm taking next week off so you can interview the guest we got, because you are really good.
Whatever. Actually, well, if you're doing that to me, I'm doing something with you, because what you inspired me this week right now about your book, I'm actually probably take this and use it Sunday at church.
Okay.
And talk
Please
about it at church and in a pulpit, because you make me think about something like, a lot of writers, like especially fiction writers, they start at the end of the story.
Right.
And then they start writing backwards.
Right.
And that's how they really put their books together.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like if you want the end of the plot, you want it to unfold like this.
Yes.
They say, okay, this is how I want it to end.
Yeah.
So they start writing backwards to get to that conclusion.
Absolutely.
So in a sense, you made me think about, in people's lives, how do you want your conclusion to be?
Oh, so good.
And
Actually,
how do you
that's
start
what.
writing backwards?
That's why it's important to write your goals down.
There you go.
That's why it's important to write down how you want your life to look.
Uh-huh.
Even how you want your relationship to look like. Like, obviously, nobody has a perfect relationship.
Go ahead now.
I look at my relationship that I have with my husband, and it's like what I wanted when I was a kid. Like, because I saw my parents' relationship, I was like, oh, heck no. I ain't doing that.
Well, two things on that. First, so you're gonna stand in for me at church, because you can finish that sermon. But and two, did you draw the picture of you and your husband when you was little?
No, I didn't know what
that would be a creative picture that I like to see nowadays.
Okay, I will say
I'd
this. I could never verbalize it because I knew it inside, but I did have a feeling what my husband might look like.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You knew back then?
I kinda. Yeah.
Okay. Why are you looking like that?
Because as a kid, my dad was Islamic, Nation of Islam, Islamic. So I don't know how I just had a couple of flashes of what my husband would look like, and it just felt right. But because of the environment I grew up in, I was like, oh, well, that can't be right.
Now, just curious, because if you're a father Muslim, I'm thinking you're just visualizing a 6'9" dark guy named Mustafa, or
6'4".
6'4" Mustafa. Just
I did not wind up with Mustafa. Yes.
With locks all the way
I
down.
did appreciate Mustafa though, but no, but that's not what I meant.
That wasn't your vision.
No. And I don't know how I knew. I just knew that, and I didn't have an because I've dated everybody. I mean, I've dated white, black, Latino, whatever. So I never dated Asian. But anyway, I dated different cultures, so I didn't have like...
You got around, basically. Yeah.
No, I didn't get around. No.
No. I'm saying the culture.
Because just in case, when you date, doesn't mean you have to do everything.
I didn't say that.
Dating could just be going to dinner.
Wait a minute. Saying that you got around doesn't mean that you were sleeping around.
You know what you mean when you say you got around.
Saying, well, now, if you name every culture that's out there, like, well, I've been with them.
Okay, that's 3 guys right there. Black, white, Latino. Okay, I dated 3 guys.
Okay, black, white, Latino. Okay, what? Yeah, okay, well.
But anyway, so growing up, I knew my dad would have had a heart attack if I would have told him, dude, I got this feeling I'm going to wind up being married to a white guy. I don't know why, but I just had a feeling. I didn't necessarily want that because I wanted to make my dad happy, and I wanted to,
Now, just curious, because I have heard these stories before, especially when the little town that I grew up in.
Right.
Did your father, would you say your father was a little racist or biased?
My dad was, I wouldn't say he was a little racist. My dad was racist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in my little small town, the Caucasian fathers that really, really hated the black kids, their daughter usually wanted to date
exactly.
the black. And
but I didn't go through that phase. Like, I didn't want to date somebody outside my race. It just so happens that when my dad wound up moving us to a community where the schools were better, and it was a multicultural community. So I was around other people, and I became friends with people from other cultures. And when you become friends with somebody, you start going, oh, that person's kind of cute or whatever. So I became attracted to people, not because of, their skin color or whatever, just because they were nice or whatever. Okay. So now my dad, when I never brought a white guy home because he would have flipped. But when I brought friends home that were white or Latino, he would be nice to them and he would get to know them. And then by the time I got out of high school, a lot of his racism he started, because we would call him out on it.
Okay.
We would be like, dude, why are you being racist?
Sometimes people don't know that they're racist, in that aspect
right. Well,
of
he
it.
didn't think it was racism. He just thought it was having pride in your own culture. Like people are like, it's heritage. Yeah, okay. So, he just thought it was having pride. But when you start saying that another person is less than, or they're dogs, or
Right.
that they're pigs, and you're taught up, you're brought up, being taught that, without us, they wouldn't have been able to do anything because they were lazy and all that kind of stuff. When you're taught those things, you start going, maybe that's true. And then you learn it's not true.
Now, this is something I want to get into real quick because we have a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
But it's like a 2-part question, but on the same thing.
Yeah.
How do you get beyond like your father in that kind of aspect? And I know
Right.
you had a different relationship with your father, and you have a portion in your book about beyond betrayal.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of
absolutely.
curious, how do you pull all that in, and is that a part of this chapter?
I talked a little bit about my dad, but the beyond betrayal actually is dealing with some other relatives in my family that I
So a
actually
lot of
had
your
worked.
relatives, y'all just don't get along, huh?
No, I actually get along with my dad. I get along with everybody. I get along with everybody in my family except for one person.
Oh, okay.
And that one person stole from me and is actually committing, even now, currently committing fraud against people.
Okay.
And so I just don't deal with those kind of situations.
Okay.
And I don't deal with those kind of people. But with my dad, as he got older, he just warmed up. He changed and became like, even now when I talk with him, he doesn't seem like an angry man anymore. He just seems like a really chill old guy. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not out there banging his chest talking about the white man, this and the white. He's just a good guy and he appreciates everybody. He appreciates different cultures, and he loves my husband. He absolutely loves my husband.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it now. I'm saying because you've been married for some years now, and I guess, of course, your husband has met your
He'll
father.
be 16 years.
16 years. Good,
Yeah.
16 good years, too, huh?
Very good years.
I got 13.
Now, ask my husband, he might say 10. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
I got 13 years, but I ain't gonna say all of them was good
Congratulations.
years. And we had to do a couple of recess years.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, things happen. Well, I mean,
Those
that's
are good
in the
years. Those were some of the best years.
Yep.
When it's like you stay on that side of town, and I'm gonna stay on this side of town. You do you, I do. Oh,
But aren't
those
you
are-
happy together though? Doesn't it feel
It made
like
it better.
it feels right?
And
Yeah.
I got a chance to. I got a chance to live life for a while.
But do you
and
appreciate her? Yeah, you appreciate her more now that you. And that's the other thing.
Not
Nobody's
really. I got
relationship.
sick, and she was able to take care of me because she still got papers on me. So and I knew that if something happened to me, they called her, and she has the signature to keep me alive. And
Yeah,
so that means I
exactly.
need to be
So
nice to her.
You should.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying, I need to. It's a part of the contract, Because I'm saying if my mama can't come in and say don't pull the plug, she's like no.
No, but I've seen you and your wife together, and it looks like you guys do adore each other, and there's some warmth there.
It is good. I'm saying we it's a long journey, but we are
Right.
at a very great place in life.
I'm so happy for you.
And she still got all her teeth. I ain't knocked many of them out. Those.
Well, you would never put your hands on a woman anyway, because you're one of the good guys.
No, I go to church. I ain't never put my hands on a woman. But I don't pray hard with
Oh
her.
my goodness! But Marty, I tell you what. Speaking of laying hands, that was a bad segue. Anyway, talk to us a little bit. Do you have a Marty's motivational minute?
I did it earlier.
You did? What was that?
The chapters of your life started at the beginning, and you took over.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That was
you just took over it. But so now if I got to pull out another one, okay,
pull another one out of your.
All right. So in a sense, Psalms 23 is
There
a
we
favorite
go.
one that everybody
There we
know.
go.
But when you get down to that verse 5 is
Yeah.
what people, they hear or say where it says, you provide a table in front of me, and before my enemies.
Yes.
And it's in a sense where this, if you don't know the Bible, this is the chapter where it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He,
Right.
making me lie down in green pastures.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes to talk about this table that he puts in front of you
Right.
and before your enemies.
Yeah.
And it's in a sense to let you know that even though you might be on your job and everything, you got them haters and
Yeah.
the people that are trying to take stuff away from you that's all around you.
Yeah.
God is still blessing you in the midst of all of them.
Yes.
So you're sitting there and he's blessing you with that promotion. He's giving you that protection, that grace that you need
Yeah.
in front of all of those enemies.
Oh, that's so good.
So even though they are at your job, you still eating your nice lunch in front of them.
That's
And
right.
those blessings are still coming. He didn't say that he was going to eliminate them.
Right.
He just said you're going
And
to
I
thrive
think that's
in front
where
of
people
them.
get it twisted. They think that God's going to eliminate the challenging people in your life. And I went through that. I was like, why don't you just smite her down,
Right.
Lord?
Kill
He's
her,
not going
Lord,
to do
kill
that.
her.
Yeah, but
Kill
why?
her.
But then I have to think about all the mistakes that I made.
Yeah.
What if in the middle of my mess, when I wasn't handling things right, when I was in situations that I didn't want to be in, and I made some stupid decisions, what if God would have just struck me down right there? I wouldn't have been able to get to the other side of it. Yeah. And getting to the other side of it is a beautiful thing. And we all can be redeemed. I really do. I really do believe that.
And, it's God is with both people on both sides of the wall.
That's right.
When you look at the enemy, whenever you say the enemy over there, they're saying the same thing. But God is with both of them.
Preach.
Both of us. So as much as
Are you
it's a
going to talk
lot
politics?
of people.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just messing with you. But it even goes into politics because a lot of people that I say, I can't stand them because of their views and everything.
Right.
And most of them people I do not know.
Right.
And I had this hatred. So I got to make sure that I always say, evaluate your own BS.
Right.
Your own Bible study, but your own, your own approach to your religion and your thought. Because
your religion, your politics, your family life, all of it. Reevaluate your approach. And I think, to be honest with you, Marty, this is where I want to play right now. Mm-hmm. It really is. I think that we're here to do something. We're here to do something good. We're always going to have fun and be silly and stuff like that. But you guys, if you guys have some comments about the show, or you want to just show us some love or whatever, or tell us about something you'd love to see on the show.
Tell us that you don't want to see this no more.
There you go. I'm going to beat you.
And if you want to say, I do not want to buy that book that's at Barnes & Nobles and everything, you can just tell us that too. Like, I'm not interested in Doni Jones' Failure to Fabulous. I don't care that it's at Barnes & Nobles or Amazon or, all
online, all these other avenues.
If you don't care, you can just email us and let us know, okay?
Exactly.
All right. While she's all talked and choked up, we're going to see you next time right here on Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones, and I'm Marty McFly.
Yeah.